got a lot to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, first of all, what do you think about this awesome squid video? Isn't this amazing? This jellyfish that may or may not be of the, in the classification system of Skywatcher, Jake Barber's team. This is just an incredible sighting of what looks like something very similar, if not the exact same species or, whatever we're talking about with Skywatcher. I still don't know what the heck to think of the Skywatcher UAP. Are those beings? Are those craft? What are those things? Those are just incredible stuff. And yeah, this looks a lot like what they are seeing with the jellyfish, or as I call them, the space squid or the sky squid. This is from Imperfect Organism, who says a jellyfish more on par with Skywatcher's classification system. And yeah, indeed, it really, really looks like it. Meanwhile, the Tedesco brothers are releasing some technology, and you probably are familiar with the Tedesco brothers who go out and get scientific data on UFOs. A really cool, series of investigations that they've been doing, and they have developed some technology to do this with, and now they're releasing them to the public. This is from Lester Nair. If you're trying to do UAP field work, you should get your hands on these, he says. The Nightcrawler Multispectral Detector, which has a really cool name. I like that. It covers UVC, NIR, and SWIR, which I'm not familiar with, I'll be honest. Built to detect coronal discharges, plasma events, and thermal anomalies missed by standard optics. Cool. All right. And also the Nightcrawler Millimeter Wave Radar Unit offers range only, velocity only, and combined modes. Enhanced Doppler audio lets you track movement in real time. Ideal for capturing high-speed, non-ballistic motion. And yeah, here's what these things look like. I don't know how much these things run. I imagine they're probably not super cheap. But yeah, some really cool UFO watching equipment. Go out and get your own UFOs on camera or on whatever. What was the name of this? The Nightcrawler Multispectral Detector. A really, really cool name. I love that. Okay. Anyway, so cool stuff from the Tedesco brothers, making it more possible for us to go and get our own UFO sightings. Meanwhile, from Liberation Times, Chris Sharp and Kyle Warfel giving us some more info on the UFOs or the mystery drones that were shutting down a Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Insider accounts detail how Diamond Formation drone swarm evaded detection, triggering Wright-Pat airspace shutdown. Liberation Times has obtained witness statements from personnel at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base revealing that drones, quote-unquote, flying in a diamond formation while evading counter-drone detection systems prompted the closure of the base's airspace in December 2024. Through a FOIA request, the U.S. Air Force released 2 witness statements and 1 incident report to Liberation Times from base personnel and 88th Security Forces Squadron members responsible for guarding Wright-Pat Air Force Base in Ohio. Here we go. First drone sighted after 10 p.m. The report describes how a UAS, a drone, was observed hovering near the hot cargo pads before flying toward the base's west ramp at 2200 hours. It further notes that the device was black with 4 propellers, was roughly 6 inches in size, and had alternating red and green lights. So the propellers were 6 inches in size, or the craft was 6 inches in size. The report then adds how the UAS flew over the fire station number 2 at roughly 20 feet in the air before visual contact was lost. Okay, what about the diamond formation? Visual contact was then regained with 3 additional drones spotted flying in a diamond formation. Despite the sightings, the report confirms that no objects were visible on the Ninja system. Although we got some cool words today, the electro spectral thing or whatever it was, and now the Ninja system. I love it. The Air Force's Ninja system is designed to detect, track, and alert security teams to unauthorized drones using integrated sensors to protect restricted airspace But in this case, it failed to detect intruding objects, something which may cause alarm within the Pentagon. And then the airspace was shut down. The report explains that following unsuccessful sweeps around the base and confirmation that no incoming flights had been detected on radar, at 200 hours and 30 minutes, the Air Force Air Traffic Control Tower relayed that Wright-Patterson airspace was shut down. 5 minutes later, the diamond formation was observed flying away from the base towards Highway 4 north of the installation. After confirming that no suspicious packages had been dropped by the drones, the incident was subsequently terminated. And there's a witness encounters seeing this drone or drone-like object. I've got a great interview with Das Smith, the amazing remote viewer, coming up tomorrow, and he might be able to shed some light on this mystery, why they were seeing drones or drone-like things. Now, maybe they were actual physical drones, maybe they were something more anomalous, and why people are seeing drones might be revealed by Das Smith in his amazing remote viewing on the mystery drones. And again, that'll be coming up tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Speaking of the mystery drones, Merrick von Rennenkamp shares this video. He says, New Jersey drone footage. This is arguably the best video of the unknown objects that hovered and flew with impunity over New Jersey last winter, alarming local governments and law enforcement. All right, let's take a look. All right, here we go. We got these objects doing their thing, whatever they're doing. I guess that was a plane or helicopter flying overhead. Maybe taking a look at the mystery drones, or maybe not. Either way, Merrick is saying that these are indeed the mystery drones. This is the phenomenon, and it's anomalous. Yeah, what are those things, guys? Let me know what you think the mystery drones. Man-made? E.T.? Something else? What are your theories about the mystery drones? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, we've heard about how the FAA is getting involved investigating the drones. Well, here is the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, who's asked about the mystery drones, and he kind of gets into that a little bit. Let's give a listen.
The last thing I want to get your comment is on, we heard about the drones that were going on in New Jersey over the Bedminster area, and it seems like it was happening a little bit in New York City as well. Can you give us any announcements on that?
Yeah, so Lawrence, they're actually flying over my house. My kids were freaking out, big drones flying over. And so when the Biden administration said, oh, it was nothing, this is just an airplane or a kid's drone from down the street. No, it wasn't. It was something other than that. Here's what we had. The problem in America is drones are small. And so to actually have a system where you can, like air traffic control, where you can see airplanes in the sky, it's hard to see drones. Is it a bird? Is it a drone? What is it? And again, these are wonderful tools, whether you're a farmer or a contractor. They're fun for kids, but they're also weapons that can be used against us. And so we're doing testing down in Cape May, New Jersey, to test out new systems on how we can have surveillance for drone technology. This is a national security issue, making sure we have the technology in place, not just for aircraft that come in that want to do this country harm, but also drones that want to do the country harm as well. So we're working on those systems so we can identify, is this a kid's drone, is this a farmer's drone, or is this a Chinese or a North Korean drone that we should be concerned about? And so that testing is going on now.
Beautiful.
I put it out there, Lawrence, because I think it's important that people understand if you see a drone, this is actually the government's drones, and we're doing tests. And if it's not the government, maybe it's someone else, and we're going to be on it.
Okay, so there you go. Talking about the FAA testing that's going on. Trying to detect these mystery drones or detect drones in general. Of course, he's talking about China and Russia as potential sources for the drones, but clearly it's something way more than that. And I don't know if he knows that or is just, parroting the company line that, we're dealing with something mundane here, but something that does need to be actually investigated and dealt with. So I'd be very curious to know what instruments are aboard the drone drones or the drone technology deployed by the FAA? Are they just looking for drones? Are they looking for something more exotic? Do they have any of the Tedesco brothers equipment or something like that aboard their detection systems? Yeah, what are they looking for? Do they, are they aware that this is exotic? Do they think that it is exotic? Does it have a mundane explanation, and do they know about it? Oh, what do they know? What will they tell us? If these FAA tests do reveal something, will they actually let us know what that is? Meanwhile, Tio Red Octopus shares this awesome UFO video, car-sized UAP over Poland in March. Is that a mystery drone? Is that a regular drone? Is that an alien ship? What is that thing? And yeah, you can hear that noise right there. But as we know from the mystery drones, the noise they emit doesn't necessarily mean anything. Sometimes they can sound like drones. Sometimes they sound like planes. Sometimes they don't make any noise at all. So, if it is anomalous, the noise doesn't really mean anything. But then again, it could just be a drone. So let me know what you think about that interesting sighting. Meanwhile, it turns out Shawn Cahill is a lifetime experiencer. And here he is telling Ross Coulthart about an incident in childhood involving Santa Claus. I think he's with his sister, and I'll let him tell it from there.
My room, and there was something on the roof. I was convinced it was Santa Claus, and she told me it was Santa Claus. But she was incredibly frightened. She was absolutely terrified. And we ended up spending the whole night in my room. I must have been 5 or 6 years old. And we ended up against the door to my room on the floor with me kind of in a headlock hug that she had put me in. And as embarrassing as it is, I remember wetting my pants trying to get away from her because I wanted to see Santa Claus, and she was crying. There were events surrounding that Christmas that were so strange that I have to attribute it to the phenomenon. In years, later years, in high school, I was involved in something with a couple of friends where we had all seen a beautiful meteor, just a giant green football moving slowly across the sky and spitting out these sparks out of the back that looked like it was from an old 1920s Buck Rogers film. Frankly, it looked ridiculous. And my memory of that was that we went back to my house and wrote songs for the band that night and talked about seeing that and kind of all separated and wrote it down. And that was it, and moved on. And years after meeting Luis Elizondo and kind of sitting down and going back through my memories, I called those two friends up, and they said they had a completely different memory of the evening, where we had driven up to Mount Hamilton Observatory chasing after this thing, and that I had exited the car and interacted with blue orbs in the parking lot of the Hamilton Observatory while they hid in the car. And I have no memory of that.
Yeah, so an incredible experience from Shawn Cahill, and it goes on describing other incidences after the famous Tic Tac incident that he was a witness of in the 2004, the Nimitz incident. So, thank you to Shawn for having the courage to speak out and relate your experiences. And it's really interesting that he does seem to have been a lifetime experiencer. Unclear how deep that goes, if he's an abductee or contactee. But if he's, playing around with orbs in the parking lot and then having, an alternate memory of that event, you have to wonder if that's the case. So, let me know what you think. We've heard Gary Nolan also talk about evidence that he seems to have been a lifetime experiencer, talking about beings in his bedroom as a child, which seems to indicate that he's probably a contactee or abductee, even if he doesn't remember it. And the same could be true for Shawn Cahill. Meanwhile, were there two sphinxes? Well, this is an intriguing post from Brian Romel. Probably totally butchering your name, Brian. I apologize. You have great stuff, though. He says, the ancient Egyptians, as well as the Greeks, Romans, and Muslims, mentioned a second sphinx, which is believed to have been destroyed between 1000 and 1200 AD. In 2017, Dr. Rita Abdul Helam observe remains of the structure. The 18th dynasty granite dream stele from around 1400 BC also depicts two sphinxes facing opposite directions. There have been no extensive excavation of the area, although there is evidence of more complexity below the surface. And yeah, you can totally see from this picture that he's sharing that this sphinx lines up with that corner and this empty space over here that may or may not have once held a sphinx lines up with that corner. So it would make perfect sense for there to have been a sphinx there. Not to say that there was. I mean, you can see there's this road going from this sphinx right up to the middle of the pyramid. So, that may just be the way it's supposed to be. But yeah, I mean, just from lining up with the corners way of looking at it, you can totally see how it makes sense that there would be a sphinx there. And then he's saying there's these ancient legends of, indeed, there being a sphinx there. And people even finding the remains of it back in the day. Meanwhile, Shawn Kirkpatrick, the lovely Dr. Shawn Kirkpatrick, responds to allegations from a colleague of his that he may have been read into the UFO program and might be a big old spy spook. I forget who coined that term for Dr. Shawn Kirkpatrick, the lovely Shawn Kirkpatrick, but it's totally accurate. The spy spook himself, Shawn Kirkpatrick. Stephen Greenstreet, the lovely Stephen Greenstreet, asked the lovely Shawn Kirkpatrick these questions in response to what Kirk McGonnell said the other day. Talking, for example, about the Brandon Fugel briefing, and Kirk McGonnell was the one who invited Shawn Kirkpatrick to that briefing, and which Shawn denied, and then it was later proven that he was actually there. Well, he's denying again some new allegations by that same gentleman who has worked on and off with Shawn over the years, Kirk McGonnell. So one of McGonnell's quotes is, "There's speculation that Kirkpatrick was read into the legacy UFO program and was told in no uncertain terms that you need to sustain the party line that's been in existence for so long." Comments, says Stephen Greenstreet. Shawn Kirkpatrick says, "As for the nonsense about being read into the legacy program, there is no legacy program. No one told me to maintain a party line." So there you go, and he goes on denying everything, and you can read it, and I'll link to this, and you can read it at your leisure if you need a good laugh. But there you go, Shawn Kirkpatrick saying in no uncertain terms that there is no UFO control group, and that since there is no UFO control group, he is certainly not a part of it. Let me know what you think about that and everything else covered today in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below. You can also become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars. I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Also, channel members frequently get to see videos hours ahead of everybody else. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.